Before we talk about illegal logging, we should know the meaning of forest. Forest is a complex ecosystem consisting mainly of trees that cover the earth and support the myriad of life forms. The tree helps to create a special environment which in turn affects the kind of animal and plants that can exist in the forest. Based on data from the Directorate General of Forestry Planning and Environmental Management of Ministry of Environment and Forestry on 2019, Indonesia has 94.1 million hectares of the forested area, or 50.1% of the total land area. Amazing, right? Okay, now let's talk about illegal logging.
What is illegal logging? Illegal logging is the harvesting, processing, transporting, buying, or selling of timber that break of national and international laws. Illegal logging is a pervasive environmental damage issue in several countries that include forests in Indonesia. In his understanding, illegal logging can mean as much as logging or illegal logging and transporting of timber. According to the FWI, or Forest Watch Indonesia, and GFW, or Global Forest Watch, illegal logging is divided into two. First, an operator who violated the terms of his permit, and the second, involving wood types. Trees are cut down by people who have absolutely no legal right to cut down trees. The legislation specifically regulating illegal logging, landed in 1991, is number 41 in the legal aspect. It can be seen that the destruction of forests according to Act number 41, 1991 in the Chapter 50, Section 2, which states that it means the breakdown is the appearance of physical or cultural characteristic which cause the forest to suffer or fail to play its part. Illegal logging, according to Law number 41 in 1991 about forestry, is set up in Chapter 50, and criminal provisions are set up in Chapter 78. The main causes of illegal logging. Such a suggestion can be said that an illegal logging activity can seriously affect environmental damage. Much of the damage to the environment, especially the illegal logging that has done so far, has had a significant impact on the forest area. The first, rural poverty. In forested area or indigenous communities live within the region. These communities or tribes are in many cases very poor and depend entirely on the forest for their needs and survival. And second, cheaper products in black markets. The economics of the markets globally equally plays a role in promoting illegal logging. The reason for this is that illegal timber is normally cheaper compared to legal timber in black markets, thereby denying legal operators competitive advantage. And the third, illegal charcoal, furniture, and timber trade. There is an increasing dependency on charcoal, furniture, and timber across the world. Charcoal is used for heating and cooking in most developing countries, and those who engage in the trade illegally cut down trees which are then used to make charcoal. And the fourth, weakness and laxity in forest governance. Forest governance in producer countries very poor, and the laws in place are lax at addressing illegal logging concerns.
Impact of illegal logging. 1. Economic impact. When trees are cut without the right permits and are smuggled aboard, government loses out financially in several ways, including lost revenue from taxes and duties, and lost revenue due to corruption. Illegal logging also distorts markets and pushes down the market price of timber. which create unfair competition and hinders their effort to implement sustainable forest management in the long run. 2. Social impacts. The social impacts of illegal logging are diverse. Illegal logging undermines respect for the rule of law and is often associated with corruption. It can undermine the legitimate rights of concession holders. It may also entail lack of recognition of the land and resource use rights of forest dwelling communities, resulting in negative impacts on the livelihoods of local people and possible local resource use and tenure conflicts. 3. Environmental impacts. The environmental effects of illegal logging include forest degradation, the loss of biodiversity, and the emission of greenhouse gases, which leads to global climate change. After that, it also makes it difficult to obtain clean water and thus can lead to many diseases such as cholera, dysentery, diarrhea.
The punishment of illegal logging. It is written on the Law Number 18 of 2013, Chapter 13. Under Article 82, Paragraph 1, it is written that for the illegal loggers will be sentenced to a minimum prison of 1 year and 5 years at most, or a minimum penalty 500 million rupiah and the maximum one 2,500,000,000 rupiah. Under Article 82, Paragraph 2, it is written that in the case of the criminal act as the Paragraph 1 that is done by the individual who lived around or inside the forested areas will be sentenced to a minimum prison of 3 months and 2 years at most, or a minimum penalty 500,000 rupiah and the maximum 500 million rupiah. Under Article 82, Paragraph 3, the corporates state that each person who does illegal logging will be sentenced to a minimum prison of 5 years and 15 years at most, or a minimum penalty 5 billion rupiah and the maximum one 15 billion rupiah.
Then, what can we do to solve this problem? First, encouragement of forest steward. Among the best solution of illegality, management had better to do promotion of forest stewardship programs. Stewardship council and programs can work as effective tool for managing forests by attracting timber, harvesting, transportation, and sale. Second one is strict regulation of forest management. Strict regulation in all countries against illegal logging and prohibition of importing illegal timber can go a long way to solve this problem. Third, legal processes. As a consumer, we should buy a legal timber product. And the last one is volunteer, society, and spread the word. There are so many community, society, and organizations that fight against illegal logging tirelessly, and maybe we had better to join the society to fight against illegal logging performer.
Other countries' treatment. Now we're going to have a look how the other countries treat the illegal logging. In Myanmar, due to the size and the scope of Burma's forests, it is difficult for the government organizations such as the Forest Department to manage logging. In Cambodia, The commercial timber interests take value of the weak law enforcement to benefit from illegal cutting. The illegal deforestation here is done by the military and the powerful subcontractors. In Colombia here, illegal practices have been reduced. It is revealed by the government's assessments that 80% and 90% of all forest clearing is still illegal, with the timber is being smuggled into Brazil and Peru. In the Amazon, the study from a Brazilian commission showed that 80% of all logging activities in the Amazon were still illegal during the late 90s. From the 13 companies were investigated, 12 companies had broken the law. The logging operations are set up in remote forest areas and can be characterized by any of the following: use of fake permits, cutting any valuable commercially free, regardless the ones are protected by the law, cutting outside of concession areas, cutting more than permitted quotas, and the last, stealing from protected areas and the local lands.
Conclusion of illegal logging. Illegal logging can be one serious case in the country forestry sector, as it can be directly or indirectly significant to people's lives. Illegal logging is a symptom emerging as a result of very complex problems involving many parties of various layers. In addition, continuing this practice with a high degree of intensity can threaten the life of our children and grandchildren in the future. Therefore, it requires intense attention and solid cooperation between parties.